Who's excited about being a card-carrying stroke ambassador?
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Christina, you mentioned you already said you were doing something of doing this. Do you remember what you said to your GP?
She asked me who's calling. I said, it's my stroke team, one of the leaders. And she said, what I said, I'm doing film. What kind of film? I said, they are teaching us how to encouraging people that they are sick to come out. And she said, oh, this when? I said, almost a year now. Oh, I'm happy for you. Because always she used to see me crying. Because I said to myself, if I see myself, I don't like myself anymore. She said, no, I know you, but now you are doing well. That's good. She was happy for me.
So I suppose that's a good thing. So being a stroke ambassador makes you feel good in some ways about yourself. Is that true of everyone?
It's like those birds that they flop off their feathers. Yeah. So we're puffing up.
I must write that down in the job description, in the volunteer description, puffing up. We did talk the last time about offering support to, as you mentioned, helping people who are not well to become more of themselves again, to get back on their feet, I think was the term that we used last time. So that's one thing where we're a support. The other thing that we talked about was being like a creative assistant, let's say helping Liz or Melanie or Cinda. Do you remember that aspect? Can you think of what a creative assistant does?
A stroke survivor, being ambassador is a good thing. It's a good thing. For instance, in my dancing class, I had to take permission. They say, what are you going to do? I show them the training. Say, for how many weeks? 12 weeks. And then what will come out, I encourage other people to come out.
But the idea when you're in here, and we've just done some exercises, haven't we? We've done some breathing exercises. Do you feel confident about leading some of those?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what that one is?
It's like pushing me now, pushing you to have my balance back and you to have my balance back.
Very
Good. So you're being a creative facilitator. And we have lots of creative facilitators in the room, and you're helping them. So by helping them, you're also helping the stroke survivors.
If you are teaching people, you are getting, don't know everything.
Yeah.
I know you are helping somebody, I said you are helping yourself.
Yourself as well.
Okay. And that bit is the bit where you're supporting the other teachers and learners in the room. Okay, that's number 2. The third thing we talked about was being a spokesperson, I guess. Someone who talks to the hospital or to the public or to the Prime Minister or to other leading figures about the great work that you're doing. Have you done any of that yet? Have you been talking to others?
I have, yeah. I will be going somewhere. I will see somebody who is definitely a stroke survivor. You wouldn't recognize them, and I will talk to them whether they like it or not, and talk about the Stroke Odyssey. Talk about the things that I have have been encouraging me in my development to a newer person. or because you have to say goodbye to your old person and try to do as much as you can as a new you.
Thank you. I know that as well, Titus, you've spoken formally, haven't you? And we all were at the Education Day speaking informally.
As a lecturer, it's easy for me to deliver. Just like you have a thesis, there's nobody who knows more about your thesis than yourself. So yourself, the purpose is for people to what they can learn from you.
That's good. And so those three things, pretty clear, I think. You're supporting people who are recovering from stroke.
Not just supporting people. So the way I've done it.
Yeah, so you're helping them go on the same journey as you went on.
In the 19th class, somebody said, when did you have your stroke? 2012. And what happened? I said, at the time, I couldn't talk, I couldn't speak, I couldn't use the leg. But I'm now able. Because I've made more effort. That's why I'm dancing. For instance, if say, I'm not able to move this leg. So, definitely
one final question is, what do you think you might need to be good at being a stroke ambassador?
But me, like now, former, I don't know how to talk. If I'm saying something is wrong, like friends visit me, they are talking, I have to say something. What I will say, I open my mouth, it's wrong. Then they started laughing. Then I asked myself, oh, what is going on? Then they said, no. They started crying. But my brother said, no, don't cry. Your memory is a little bit, you don't know what you've been through, so please, sister, don't be annoyed with them. My brother, that's what she used to say to me. I said, okay. So gradually, you know, I just quiet, but I said, no, I shouldn't be quiet. I have to say something. So, since I made this project, it helped a lot. It helped a lot. So now, if I meet somebody like have a stroke, I will advise her, the person that join us, so that don't be lonely and push yourself away. Come out. Like me, I wanted to isolate myself, but later I'm not, I shouldn't do that. I'm a person. I have to bring myself.
I think the way I want to help is that it doesn't matter what's gone wrong, you have to try to make something go right, you know? If somebody can't say the right word, just wait for them. Don't try to make them say, don't put the word into their mouth. And that I find is very hard. But I feel as if it's something that I have to do, is to wait for somebody to do it themselves. And I think that a lot of us have found that. And to have somebody else who would be prepared to help you in some way would have made a lot of difference.
But are you prepared to help others now?
Yes, of course. I wouldn't be here if I weren't. I wouldn't be coming here now if I weren't.
So I suppose we are asking you all, in a sense you've signed up and you're the card-carrying stroke ambassadors, but I guess truthfully that means that you will help people actively that you will speak up on behalf of Stroke Odysseys and stroke
Oh, yeah.
in general, and that you will also be willing to develop your creative skills in order to be helpful in sessions
Yeah.
like this.
I think that sometimes you can sort of demonstrate to somebody else without sort of pushing it, something that you can do now
One
that you
thing
couldn't
you
do
said
when
that
you
I think is really important is to think about is that there is a lot of sadness, isn't there?
a lot of sadness.
And one of the things in the hospital is of course people have just had a stroke. So just to, for yourself, think about what you need, because you don't want to get overwhelmed by the sadness.
I find the sadness is very hard to accept because everybody is very sad. And the people that, like Lil said, it's a lateral thing. It goes either side of you, and it goes up and down. And people that they don't know how to react, and it's they lose patience with the person who's had the stroke, and the person who's had the stroke loses patience with them. So you have a lot of conflict, and that is one of the things that you try to avoid and get over. But if you're trying to help somebody else, you've got to deal with their thing that's gone wrong, you know, or the thing they can't do now. But you can't anticipate, because you simply do not know how that other person's going to be affected. And it's only when you meet them and you get to know them that it comes across. And then you can try to help.
Are there any strategies that you feel that you've learnt, or that you've, having talked to other patients that have suffered stroke who...
The survivors and relatives group that we go to, there sometimes you talk to somebody who's sitting beside you, and something will be puzzling them, and maybe it's something that you've been puzzled about in the past, and you say, well, when I felt like that, I went to this, or I tried that. And sometimes people will say, oh yeah, maybe I will. And that has actually happened.
Popped in my head and was like, is it useful for you as stroke ambassadors to meet yours together from time to time, or are you happy to be out at large roaming like stroke ninjas in the community helping people out? Do you like
Ninjas, that's what I like.
But do you like the idea of coming together to share, because it's quite a thing that you're saying that you're willing to do?
If would you prefer to come together just like this with a cup of tea and some cake, or with somebody like a psychologist from the hospital who might know some of the people you've been working with?
I think that would be interesting.
So there's a forum for you, independent of us, where you can take any questions that you have that arise.
That's a fantastic idea.
I think
I would like that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be possible. I'm almost confident, but I'm not. And the idea, because I think it's a big thing to go back into the hospital, possibly on a stroke ward, where you'll be seeing people who...
It's like a smell. It takes you back to a place like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sort of renews you and stops you getting burnt out, is the idea, and keeps you renourished and renewed so you can keep working. So the idea of meeting would just be a space where you can talk about anything that was difficult, but also talk about things that you learned and sharing it with someone whom it would facilitate.
I think it's better if they invite somebody like that. It's okay.
I should just say, to finish off, that I'm incredibly impressed by not only your knowledge about this creatively. I mean, obviously you have extreme knowledge in terms of stroke because you've gone through it. I'm currently indirectly going through it with my father, who's just had a stroke. But I'm really impressed by your commitment to helping others. I think that's really very special.
think it's one of the things we can do.
It's a more a selfish thing, really, because if you're not, maybe you wouldn't be able to help yourself, but always you can help somebody else in recovery who has problems that you haven't now.
I'm a stroke ambassador. I am. This is my story. I had a stroke. I forgot myself. I can't remember nothing. But now, because of stroke, ambassador teachers, now they are teaching us. So now, here I am. I can talk. First, I feel shy to meet people, but now I'm not shy anymore. I'm meeting a lot of people. So please, stroke survivors, wake up. Come and join us so that we can follow the journey. We can do something. Please, we can invite people to come and join us. Thank you for everybody.
Then it's hot. Oh, it's dry. I go out. I was able to do that. Slowly. I'm able to overcome that. To the point now I'm dancing.
Yeah, man.